Dr. Rowley called on Colin Inbert to give the people an update on how much money was spent on the virus. Dominic, Colin Inbert told Dr. Rowley, Dominic, Colin Inbert told Dr. Rowley, if I knew you were going to call on me to speak, I was going to slip to the side like the CMO and go my way. Dominic, let me repeat that in case I was closing the fridge door and I didn't hear what I say. Colin Inbert told Dr. Rowley, if I knew you were going to call on me to speak, I was going to slip to the side like the CMO and go my way. Dominic,
yes, sir.
You see how much power you have? Let somebody else do comes that. They be looking for a job in the morning.
You think so?
Dr. Rowley, yes.
All right.
They be looking for a job in the morning. But you can't touch Colin Inbert. That's how much power you have, Dominic. That's how much power you have. Hey, Dominic, I will leave it there for now.
Thank you. Leave it there. It's too early. It's too early. I think your sister back up already, or she's on her way back up. So anyway, let me promote. Good morning to leave it there, sister. That's not right. I'm gonna play that in a little bit. Right. Okay. Right, so I think that the YouTube link is supposed to be up now, folks. Let me check on that and make sure. For those of you who normally join us. Right. Let me see. Yes, we're up and running. So good morning to you, folks. Hello, good morning.
Hi, morning, my brother.
Morning,
Financial
sir.
Guru.
Morning.
Morning. Thanks for taking this call via this system.
Yes.
And I have to say thank you. Good morning to Mr. Chan, Sister Jenny. Good morning to everybody, because I haven't called for a while. But I heard we have a new call I've been hearing for a while. Morales, good morning. Since we have gone to the next side, they start coming on this side, which means you have a great thing to say, my financial guru.
Yes.
In order for them to come here, that means what you're saying has to have, how to put it, substance.
Yes.
That people are taking in and absorbing what is being said. So keep it up, right, my brother?
Yes.
Morales, good morning, and good morning to the UNC. Thanks for coming over and have some, how to put it, intellectual conversation. We don't talk garbage here. Whenever you leave here, the information you leave here, you could go and tell them it's facts. Nothing, nobody. I see the live sport man want to lock up, have a bucket or a pail for the two advisors to the Attorney General. These fellas right in the mind. Enjoy your morning, my brother.
Thank
you, thanks
sir.
again.
Most welcome. Hello, good morning.
Hey, morning, Dominic.
Morning, sir.
Iwer said that nobody challenges his when he make his thing. On many occasions we challenge it when he is caught telling blatant lies. I can't say untruth lies, but leave it there. I think I might be meeting Mr. Imbert over the weekend here. I think he's supposed to be in Parliament. I'll ask him that same question, and probably I'll give him a copy of what you said, because if it's proven to be untrue, then you slander any man name, I remember Imbert won a case against those people and them, the express and them, for slander any name and telling blatant lies on him. So be careful how you to be saying, yo, that timing bad, boy. Stop putting misinformation on the radio. There's some people taking your crap with seriousness. Because I remember that night when it had the meeting, and I can remember that, as you say, happened. I find it disrespectful, man. Thanks.
Thank you, sir. You know, folks, I want to make, I've made this suggestion to you guys before, and I want to repeat it, right? And this is a suggestion I'm throwing out there in anticipation of becoming the next social media officer. That we need to take the fight to the UNC directly. So, one of the callers would have mentioned, Barataria mentioned the live sport man, the Doglaya, who has a program on Facebook called, well, two actually. One called Doubles and Coffee. So every morning around this time, or a little earlier, so he goes out and he gets his doubles and then he has his cup of coffee and he feels the need to give commentary on the day's proceedings, what happened before, and so on. Of course, from a biased UNC slant. He also has Doglaya Politics, right, where he is in full flight with his nastiness. And again, every time he hosts that program, he demonstrates why he should not be in the Senate of Trinidad and Tobago, where it speaks to the leadership of Kamla Persad-Bissessar and more so the judgment and the poor judgment of Kamla Persad-Bissessar. And I would encourage you, if you have the belly to stomach it, to engage them directly. Keep it respectful, right? So this is what I do. I go on Kamla Persad-Bissessar's page. Well, she has an admin that runs her page. So clearly she is not interested in what is posted, because sometimes you go on there and you see some of the things posted and it's like, did this woman really read this before it was posted? And I want to encourage you to comment, to go into the comments, even if it's just to put great is the PNM or I support Keith Rowley and the PNM. You would not, you all do appreciate the impact that can have. That when it is Persad-Bissessar or the Doglaya or whoever it is put out a post and the majority of comments read, great is the PNM, I support Keith Rowley and the PNM, it demoralizes the UNC supporters. Trust me, you see, because they think now, when they go on social media and they see a set of comments that is negative or anti-government, that, hey, which is the same mistake they made in 2020. They were basing their electoral success on comments, negative comments that they were seeing on Facebook that were anti-government. And they're making the same mistake now. But that's all right. Good. They could continue to make that mistake. And I want to encourage you to go ahead, to do that. Go on Kamla Persad-Bissessar's page, the Port Town and Chief Marshal Walker. Go on her Facebook page too. And I said she blocked me because she probably get fed up of me posting stuff that she cannot respond to and they can't defend the indefensible. What do? They hightail it and they block you. All right, because she doesn't want the UNC supporters to see when I am posting articles in the comment that contradicts her post, that highlights the hypocrisy of the UNC. Because you see, when you put these things in, and what I came to realize is that when you drop certain articles, newspaper articles and other things in the comments, and then the UNC supporters come on and they see it, the whole thing shut down. It might have one or two of them who would try to deflect and to challenge you and say, well, because when they can't defend, they come to say, yeah, but the PNM so and so and so and so. And I would engage them. And when I am able to respond to them in a manner that, they can't defend, what does Marsha do? She blocked me. Well, okay. I said I had to create a fake profile now to go back in and continue to troll her. Yeah? But I'm suggesting that you do it, but keep it respectful. Don't cuss and all them kind of thing. Don't descend to their level. Right? So when you see the Doglaya, if you want to go, just type in Dogla Politics on Facebook, and when it comes up, you'll see, you don't need to listen to everything. Just go into the comments and type, great is the PNM, or I support Keith Rowley and the PNM. That's all. And if they get 50, 60 of that every day, they'll block everybody? Well, that's okay. How many people you going to block? So just do that. Show them that there is support for the PNM. Trust me, it irritates the UNC supporters when they see any comment supporting the PNM. When you call you a latrine fly and tell you about Balize juice and all kind of nonsense and you're a troll and go from here, but that's okay. That's okay. As we take the fight to them across social media, whatever platform it is. I mean, I'm inundated with messages every day on whether it be on Messenger on Facebook or on WhatsApp, with people who are in private WhatsApp groups, and they would message me and say, here now these UNC people at it again, look, they post this, they post that. And then I would just send stuff to the people, well, okay, use this, respond using this. Look an article to respond to that. And let me say good morning to Carol Myers. By the way, Carol, I'll send you a response to your request last night. Because this one who goes by the name Alan Karim put out something that's saying they the government is appealing the Jawala Rambaran matter, but it didn't appeal the AV drilling issue. I want to get into that, not that AV drilling, but you see that this thing with Nelson, where they're talking about Nelson flip-flopped with respect to his advice on Malcolm Jones. I want to get into that in a serious way. I want to deal with that once and for all. That this picture they paint of Nelson as being flip-flopping. And to provide you with the information as to why Mr. Nelson changed his mind, why it is that he decided he advised the PNM government not to proceed with the lawsuit against Malcolm Jones, whereas he would have advised the People's Partnership to do so. You see, because there are certain critical pieces of information that the UNC continues to leave out. And as I would have said last night in Couva North, when they had the thing, the UNC plays on the ignorance of the population, because they know that a lot of the citizens of this country are not seized of the granular details of a lot of the things that go on. And in the absence of that, sometimes PNM supporters are unable to respond in a manner that is required. So I get very upset when I go on Facebook and I see in a chat or a chat under a post, name 5 things that the PNM do between 2015 to now. And most time, PNM supporters are hard-pressed to name 2. So what I intend to do as social media officers is to ensure that the next time, anytime you encounter that question, name 5 things or name 10 things that the PNM did between 2015 to now, that you could give them 50. And then 50 more on top of that. They can't fight the facts. Somebody sent me a list of nonsense that they put out about PNM corruption between 2015 to 2022. And some of the dotish things that, it gives you brain freeze. They like to talk about this thing where the paintings cost $3 million. The paintings did not cost $3 million. That was the value of all the paintings, the total collection of paintings. We know the government was not able to secure all of the paintings, and so the ones that they were able to secure came up to $2 million. But I know for some people in the UNC, the only thing you all know about investment is to invest in land, right? You all don't understand about fine art and paintings and so on. Casabon, who painted, who was responsible for those paintings, died over 100 years ago. So those paintings are over 100 years old. You know the value of that? So $2 million would have been paid for those paintings back in 2015, thereabout 2016. But I could tell you that today, 7 years later, they're certainly worth more than $2 million. So if those paintings were to end up in one of those international auction houses like Christie's or Sotheby's or something, right? In the hands of the right investor, they could probably fetch 5, 6, 7, or even 8 and more millions. But you see, you all don't understand that concept. You could have other things to invest in other than land. So that was an investment that the government made. But anyway, the ads coming up. So join us on the other side of 7 o'clock, and I have some clips to play. Stay locked.
So do we. Let's go pay some bills on the street. 919 FM.
The murder toll continues to rise. The nation is in mourning tonight.
3 people have been found dead.
A soldier was shot dead.
A quadruple murder in Beverly Hills, Laventille.
Where are we right now?
We say bring back love.
Bring back love.
How we end up here today.
Bring back peace.
Bring back peace. Be your brother's keeper. We say bring back peace on the street.
I want peace. I want peace. Bring back peace on the street.
Bring back peace on the street.
Bless the world with harmony. There's no greater time for love. No greater time for peace.
Want to furnish your home in style? Stylus Furniture makes this possible. Shop using our affordable layaway options to purchase any of our modern sectionals, dining, living room, or bedroom sets, and receive a dinner voucher for 2 at Atelier's Restaurant and Lounge. For further information, contact us at 652-2542, 652-2688 and 790-1202. You can also visit any of our branches located at 101 Crackness Village, Princestown, and 51 Rushwood Street in San Fernando. Stylus Furniture, for the style in you.
91.9 is counting down 91 days of Christmas. Yes, 91 days of Christmas. It's karaoke, prizes to be won, giveaways. It's the 91 days of Christmas on the street. 919 FM.
I could sing a good serenade. Oh, it's Christmas.
Team Colors of We and Create a Smile Foundation presents Cheers to Life. Cheers to Life, a charitable event. October 29th, Bear Top Bar, formerly Mary's Bar, on Eastern Main Road, opposite Wassa. Advance tickets cost $40 and 2 non-perishable items, or $50 by the door. Music by top DJs, live performances by Snakey, Eddie Charles, RKG,
she tell me she have nobody, but she says she will love,
and many more. For ticket information, call 296-4493 or 277-8740 or at the Bear Top Bar. This event is sponsored by K2K, Alarm and Sound, Pepe's Marketing, Street 919 FM, Everslick Auto Care, Manipul Branding, One Shot Photography, Bear Top Bar. Help make happiness a gift this Christmas. October 29th. Cheers to Life, the charitable event.
October will never be better with Tobago Carnival Fever. Book your passage and come on over.
The Street Mass in Tobago. Where the uniqueness of Tobago comes alive. With its carnival, creatives produce music, craft, mass, literature, and other memorabilia that ignites the history and creativity of Tobago. It's the Street Mass in Tobago, right here on the street. 919 FM.
Mud is Life is a Juve carnival experience like no other, where mud is used as a colorful, cleansing, life-giving elixir. Mud is Life will be the biggest, dirtiest, most beautiful event for the first official Tobago carnival ever. This is a mass to enlighten the masses and let the whole world know of the potent power of the neoteric mud formula indigenous to the majestic, magical Isle of Tobago. Tobago, are you ready to make history? As people from all around the world come together to celebrate Mud Mass as the original traditional Tobago Mass, as it was in the beginning. Everything is mud, mud and more mud, mud and mud. Mud is life!
Tobago, get ready to celebrate Mud Mass with Mud is Life.
Mud is life.
Ambrosia. First annual Fusion Chutney meets Soca Cool Effect is on at Twin Walls Gulf City, San Fernando on November 12th. Come and hear the fused musical sounds of live bands of Chutney and Soca artists. Ravi B and Karma, Super Blue, Farmer Nappy, Nessa Preppy, Ding Dong, K.I. and the band, Thirani, along with some of the best DJs. Music by DJ Elon, DJ Anna, and Ultra Simo. Sonny Blaine will be the host and MC. This event is expected to be a spectacular one with lots of exciting giveaways of Ambrosia makeup to the first 100 patrons. Call us at 229-9018 or 229-4530 and book your tickets for the early bird special paid by 12th October.
Join Pastor Kelvin Heinerine and friends for The Way, the Truth, the Life Radio Ministry, a Church of God ministry, live on the street 919 FM from 6 p.m. to 7 p.m. This and every Sunday on the street 919 FM. Jesus said, I am the way, the truth, and the life. No man cometh to the Father except through me. John chapter 14, verse 6. For further information, contact 686-3845, 349-5178, or 342-7303.
Tune in to the Street 919 FM every Friday from 9:15 a.m. to 9:30 a.m. with Kingdom Health Services, situated at number 125 Eastern Main Road in Tunapuna. For the program, Health and Healing, merging the old with the new with Mr. Brent Diet. For more information, call 318-7471 or 484-0141 or 360-4100. It's all about Kingdom Health Services on the street, 919 FM.
Tune into the street 91.9 FM
every Sunday from 10:05 a.m. to 11 a.m.
for the Repairing of the Breach radio program with me, Bishop Showinal Thomas.
The scripture says, and they that shall be of thee shall build the old waste places.
Thou shalt raise up the foundation of many generations, and thou shalt be called the repairers of the breach, the restorers of the paths to dwell in.
Don't miss it. Repairing the Breach radio program with Bishop Sherwin R. Thomas on the street 919 FM every Sunday from 10:05 a.m. to 11 a.m.
Turn your lights down low and listen to the Master's radio. Get in touch with God. Turn your radio on.
You are invited to join Pastors Morris and Agnes Johnson of the Church of the Firstborn Assembly Miracle Center, located at number 399 Eastern Main Road, Guayco in Sangre Grande, for the Old Time Gospel Hour Family Radio Ministry every Sunday from 1 p.m. to 6 p.m. to the Children's Hour Worship Ministry of the Word and the Family Forum every Tuesday from 9 a.m. to 10 a.m. The Law and You, and every Friday evening from 9 p.m. to 5 a.m. All Night Prayer Live, designed with you in mind. This program deals with today's issues from a biblical perspective. You will also be given the opportunity to call in and interact with us. Micah 6:8 says, He hath showed thee, O man, what is good, and what doeth the Lord require of thee, but to do justly and to love mercy and walk humbly with thy God. Your financial support through the First Citizens Bank will be greatly appreciated. Account number 795222. For further information, call 753-1113 or email us at church668hope@gmail.com.
Tune in to the Street 919 FM for the program The Final Hour with Pastor Valentine Garcia Jr. and his wife, Nikki Garcia, for the Bible study every Thursday from 9 a.m. to 10 a.m. Mark chapter 16, verse 15 says, Go into all the world and preach this gospel for every creature, for I am not ashamed of the gospel of Christ, for it is the power of God unto salvation.
Every Friday, it's all about Fire Mood Soca Fridays with MC Duke and Selector Kochi from 6 straight to 9 p.m. blazing all the latest and past soca hits. So remember, make it a line, make it a day, rock and come in, you know. It's all about Fire Mood Soca Fridays on the Street 919 FM. You don't know.
Share the live. Share the live. The Street 919 FM on Facebook and Instagram. Share the live. Iowa George on Instagram. Share the live. Iowa TV and Street TV on YouTube. Share the live. The Street 919 FM.
Welcome back, and thank you for staying locked to the Street 919 FM. You're tuned in to Titans of Democracy. If you're just joining us, Sharon is not here this morning, as I would have said before. She's still a bit under the weather. Suspected that she has the flu, but hopefully all is well, and she would be back out next week. Yeah, so if she took the NyQuil last night, she's probably still asleep. So if not, good morning, Miss Felix. Right, so there are two clips that I wanted to play this morning. As I said, all in preparation. I taken in front. Morning again, Angie. Social media officer work. Clip number 1, Saddam Hussein. The future, I call him the future of the UNC. I'm one of the future leaders. And let me just say, Saddam is well schooled when it comes to UNC deception. You know, he is one of the main ones who uses who plays on the lack of knowledge of the public to try and fool people. Yeah? Come with all of his legalese and always quoting from judgment, this judgment and that judgment. Because you figure everybody dotish. Yeah? But again, the role of social media officer requires that you become that you're aware of these things, that you pick up on these things. Because if you don't know, if you're not in the know and you don't have the information, they could say certain things and it would just go past you. Right? So that is why you need to ensure that you do research and that you're seized of the information. So that when they have their press conferences and so on, and they say things that could indict them, that you are able to highlight it. So in this clip, this is from the press conference that they had last week, himself and Rudy Indarsing, where they were talking about, well, he was addressing the issue of Mr. Nelson and whatnot. I would have played another clip for you from this press conference a few days ago, demonstrating how dishonest these people are. That this man sat down bold-facedly and said that everything that Mr. Nelson has said and claimed is a fantasy, that it is a story, fiction, made up. And I continue to make the point. If the claims that Mr. Nelson has made, that he deposited monies to the account of Gerald Ramdeen for the benefit of Anand Ramlogan, and Mr. Nelson would have listed dates, specific dates and amounts of monies that he would have deposited to the account. He brought copies of his bank statements. He brought copies of wire transfer receipts to prove that he did in fact deposit these monies into the accounts of Gerald Ramdeen. I continue to make the point. It's simple. If Mr. Ramdeen maintains that he is innocent, if Mr. Ramdeen maintains that Mr. Nelson is a liar, then simple. Produce your bank statements. Give it to the misleader of the opposition and ask her on one of the Monday night forum meetings to put up your bank statements on the big screen that they love to show stuff on. You can black out your balance if you don't want people to see the kind of money that you make or you made. Remember, this is the man who would have charged $428,000 for a 2-paragraph pre-action protocol letter. You remember that one? $428,000 for a 2-paragraph pre-action protocol letter. But all of a sudden now, Saddam Hussein wants the government to disclose how much money they paid to Douglas Menz and Gilbert Peterson. Yeah? All of a sudden they're concerned about the public person. Now, yes, this government wasting money. But under them, as soon as the treasury door open, was every thief for himself. And who ain't get, well, that's your problem. You wasn't quick enough. Yeah, and that is what they're asking you to do, to put them back in office in 2025 so they could continue to finish vacuum the treasury. They thought they needed 10 years to do it, but you all only gave them 5, thank God. Yeah. So, this clip I'm playing here, you know, when you're dotish, no, when you feel people dotish, he ain't dotish, he feel people dotish. He quotes from a judgment, and I want you to listen to what he said, the judge said. So the judge gives a definition of dictatorship. Yeah? And he's trying to make an insinuation that the government is being dictatorial in its refusal to release the legal advice given by Douglas Menz and Gilbert Peterson to Mr. Al-Rawi with respect to the indemnity. But listen to this. Let me play this here. All right? And then I'm going to read something for you after. Again, to expose the hypocrisy of the United National Congress.
Legal opinion and the legal advice that they rendered to the former Attorney General with respect to this indemnity agreement between Mr. Vincent Nelson and Mr. Faris Arawi. Because it is the taxpayers who have paid for that particular legal advice and opinion. It is the taxpayers. And they ought to see it, they ought to read it, and they ought to digest that legal opinion with respect to this indemnity. And I don't want the government to come and say, well, look, that is privileged information. That is an absolute privilege and we cannot disclose this legal opinion. Well, I want to quote a judgment here. And this is a very, very important judgment. This is a judgment involving the Minister of Planning and Sustainable Development against the Joint Consultative Council for the Construction Industry. Civil Appeal 200 of 2014, delivered on 28th of October 2016. And Justice Jamada, in this judgment, would have indicated that at paragraph 47, he is saying that I am of the opinion that in the circumstances of this case, the public interest, transparency, and accountability benefits far outweigh any damage that may be caused to the principle of legal professional privilege by the disclosure of the documents sought. Having carried out a requisite balancing exercise, I can find no justifiable and sufficiently essential public interest considerations of type or degree to support non-disclosure of the documents sought. It is maybe worth reminding ourselves that whereas freedom, transparency, and accountability are the hallmarks of a participatory democracy, secrecy lies at the heart of dictatorships. This is Justice Jamada saying that the principle of the public interest, accountability, transparency, our democracy will far outweigh that of our legal professional privilege.
Right. That's Saddam Hussein there. He read that judgment for you, right? And he quoted the judge. What the judge said about dictatorship. Yes? And as Saddam started off by saying, his public money pay for that, and the public deserves to digest, to read and digest the information, and all of that. That judgment that he just read there, interestingly, and he made the point to quote when the judgment was delivered in 2016. Now, he also mentioned the date when the lawsuit was brought, I think 2014 thereabouts. The judgment was delivered in 2016. Of course, he mentioned the Ministry of Planning. Who was the Minister of Planning in 2014? One Bohendranath Tiwari. Yeah? So that judgment that he just read there, where he talked about, the government must release the information and that you can't withhold the information from the public, and it is important because the public needs the information, is taxpayers' money pay for that, and yada, yada, all of that. That was a judgment rendered in a lawsuit that was brought against the Ministry of Planning by the Joint Consultative Council with respect to the government's decision to award lands at Invaders Bay. Let me read this here for you. This is an article dated November 5th, 2012. JCC suing Bo. The JCC for the construction industry is suing Planning and Sustainable Development Minister Bo Tiwari for his alleged failure to disclose documents under the Freedom of Information Act. In a lawsuit filed in the High Court Registry on October 31st, the JCC, through its president, Afra Raymond, claimed Tiwari's apparent refusal to disclose the documents was illegal, irrational, and unreasonable. It is seeking a declaration that it, the JCC, was entitled to the documents and an order compelling the ministry to release them. The documents are related to legal advice received by the ministry on the tendering process for the construction of public property at Invaders Bay, Port of Spain. Here it is. The tendering process was done without going through the Central Tenders Board, the sole and exclusive authority which acts on behalf of the government pertaining to tenders, the JCC claims. And as part of its lawsuit, the JCC said Tiwari mentioned the legal advice during an address in the Senate on February 28, in which he said advice was sought from the Office of the Attorney General and his ministry's legal unit. So, the tendering process was done without going through the Central Tenders Board. These are the people who want to come now and talk about procurement legislation and that this government watering down the procurement legislation, and they got the procurement legislation bill, and the office of the procurement legislator, and all of a sudden, they are the de facto defenders of proper procurement. But in 2012, they didn't know about proper procurement with respect to the distribution of lands down at Invaders Bay. That they bypassed the Central Tenders Board, but today they want to tell you about, they know plenty about the Central Tenders Board. All of a sudden, they know the Central Tenders Board exists. But as we just read here in 2012, apparently they didn't know that. Yeah? They didn't know that. But today, yesterday was yesterday, and today is today. I always say if hypocrisy was a party, it would be the UNC. In the evidence in the case, the JCC provided correspondence which showed it had first requested the document last December when it wrote to Tiwari, voicing concern over the tendering process. The JCC made several requests which were either ignored or vaguely responded to, the lawsuit said. It states that on August 16, the JCC received a response from the Permanent Secretary who said the ministry was exempted from providing the information under Section 27 of the legislation. The legislation gives members of the public the right to access official documents of public authorities, but lists specific types of documents which are exempted as their disclosure would be contrary to the public interest. The disclosure of the written instructions and the identity of the author of the said advice is necessary and is in the public interest, as those documents would clarify the actual terms of reference for the various advices and establish a timeline, the JCC claimed. It said the contents of the legal advice would have bearing on several similar recent cases in other government ministries. So apparently it was a widespread thing under the People's Partnership government to engage in this type of activity. While you're awarding things without going through the Central Tenders Board. Yeah? That was a common practice. But today they want to come and tell you, oh, yes, we are the defenders of proper procurement. And this government, not about why they don't proclaim the procurement bill and all of that. Yeah? But in 2012, according as you just heard here, let me read it again. It said the contents of the legal advice would have a bearing on several similar recent cases in other government ministries. It brings into focus the situation in which ministries are now issuing requests for proposals and inviting expressions of interest without using the Central Tenders Board, the JCC's lawsuit said. Not me say so, you know. I read in the article. The JCC gave examples of the Ministry of Transport inviting tenders in relation to the light transit system and the proposed Port of La Brea, and also the Ministry of Justice's process for several judicial centers. So big money contract. Big money contract they were giving out. Central Tenders Board be damned. When him so? The who? Central Tenders Board, it had that. So from 2010 to 2015, they know about that. I told you all about the $27 million that they had, and it's in the Auditor General's report. Anything that ends up in the Auditor General's report is cause for concern, right? Because it means where the Auditor General would have requested information, similar to the zip line, where Farley and Watson tell earlier, the Auditor General report talk about the zip line. No such things existed. There is no Auditor General report that speaks to the zip line. When they're doing the audit, the Auditor General would come and if it is that they need additional information on anything, they would provide you with a management letter requesting further explanations, documentation. If you provide satisfactory documentation and explanation, then the issue would not find its way into the Auditor General's report. The Auditor General found it necessary to mention in one of the reports where $27 or so million is allocated by the cabinet for the refurbishment of and renovations to be done to the official residence of the ambassador or to the UN in Geneva. $27 million, according to the Auditor General's report. Rather than go through proper tendering, they say, here, wanna get 3 quotes there. 3 quotes, that's all. And we'll choose one. But make sure you tell so and so how much to bid, right? And just get 2 others now. But he gets in it, no. But just tell him to make it look good now. Just get 2 others. $27 million. Yeah. That's how they did it. Auditor General's report said so. Just like with the roti, the $350,000 in roti that they bought for the Diwali function. Yeah? 3 vendors. Same thing, same bacchanal. These people, listen. These people deserve a national award. If they used to have national awards for thieving, right? For bubble and corruption, oh gosh, every year. every year they would make the list. You all have a Diwali function, right? You contract 3 vendors to provide roti. 1 vendor provided roti. The next 2 and provide nothing. They even bring an empty styrofoam box to pretend they bring roti. So one vendor brought the roti, but all 3 of them get paid. Right? All 3 of them get paid off. But only 1 brought roti. 1 brought curry. But we want to talk about proper tendering and with the PNM corrupt. And all they want to put out a whole list. Well, don't worry, the PNM list come in. I hope all you're ready for that. So, Mr. Man here decided to read from that judgment where the judge talks about what is a dictatorship and so on. So I want to ask Saddam, if your argument is that this government is dictatorial by virtue of the fact that you say nobody has made an official request on the Office of the Attorney General with respect to that legal advice that was given to the AG by Peterson and Menz, right? So they haven't filed a Freedom of Information request to even give the government the opportunity to refuse. Okay? But he don't jump out himself to come and tell you about dictatorship and read from judgment, and the judge say, yeah, but that judgment still was against the administration, which the government and the party that you support. In 2012, 2014, the judgment was unfortunately rendered when this administration came in, but it was a judgment in respect of the People's Partnership, not the PNM. It was the People's Partnership Minister of Planning, Botiwari, who even after the court ordered that he release the documents, still refused. So the man defied the court. He doubled down. He said, I'm not giving it to the JCC, and I don't care what the hell the judge say. Frank C. I don't care what he say. I'm not releasing it. Contempt of court. Right? So you bigger than the judge? You bigger than the court? Really? But today they want to come and talk about, yes, UNC, we are the government in waiting. That's what they're waiting for? That's what they're waiting for? Look. Saddam, boy. Saddam, that is the future of the UNC. You can imagine our government 2025 with this man as a minister. Well, we know if she becomes the minister, if she becomes prime minister again, as she keeps saying recently, what is going to happen? You're going to have another 33-member cabinet, not like the 23 we've had for the last 7 years. You're going to have 33 members of cabinet because ministries are going to be split to create jobs for the boys, as was done between 2010 to 2015. So she might give him a bly as the Minister of Legal Affairs. You know, right now, Legal Affairs falls under the Ministry of the Attorney General. So it's one minister, right? Well, one ministry. So we were separated. We'll have the Minister of Legal Affairs. We have the Attorney General. She intends to bring back the Ministry of Justice. Under National Security, she said that one ministry will be split into 3, the Ministry of Home Affairs, the Ministry of National Security, and the Ministry of Defense. So 3 ministers to do the work anyway. There's 3 separate salaries there. But we care about the public purse, right? We care about proper spending, you know, about ensuring that the money is spent to the best interest of the public. So we will give 33 people the opportunity to be able to buy $1 million vehicles and get $1 million tax exemptions. Yeah, 33. Okay? Just remember, for each additional ministry that she creates, nonsensical ministries like the Ministry of National Diversity and Social Integration. Any of my USD listeners, you all could tell me what that ministry was about? The Ministry of National Diversity and Social Integration. Is something good there? What that ministry did? What was the function and purpose of that ministry? Because we haven't had it for the last 7 years and we have no problems. We don't have a Ministry of the Environment and Water Resources because all of that gone back under public utilities and we have no problems. We don't have a Ministry of Justice. We don't have a Ministry of Science, Technology and Tertiary Education. That's all under the Ministry of Education now, you know? So, we don't have a Ministry of Works separate and a Ministry of Transport separate. All of that under one ministry. What was this other nonsensical ministry that they had, boy? Can't remember. But there were quite a few. But understand this, right? For each ministry, each new ministry that she creates, space has to be rented to house that ministry. Yeah? I don't think it has space in government campus. So, which means you're going to have to rent buildings, yeah? Who are you renting it from? Who are you renting it from? I'm just asking the question because everybody in this country has the right to vote, right? Everybody. So anybody who you rent from supporting somebody. Is either they're supporting the PNM, they're supporting the UNC or whoever, but they're supporting somebody, yeah? So some political supporter gonna get money. So she's already telling you all of these new ministries that I'm going to create. The Ministry of Justice, the Ministry of Home Affairs, the Ministry of Defense, the Ministry of National Security. So has 3 brand new ministries that come in there, right? So that's 3 new buildings we have to rent. Where are we locating these buildings? How much are we going to pay in rent? Can we expect another $53 million to be spent in rent? And we don't know where the building is? All right. Are we going to see the return of the Ministry of Science, Technology, and Tertiary Education? That's an additional building that we have to rent. So while this government has reduced the amount of money that we spend annually on renting buildings, Mrs. Prasad Bisesa has already indicated numerous times within the recent past that we are going to need to increase the amount of money that we pay in rent. Today they know to tell you what all that money. So the money we pay in Paris for number 1 and number 3, Alexandra Street, they could tell you how much poor people that could feed, how many computers and laptops that could buy. Yeah? But we plan to increase the rental figure that has come down by over 100 million, 130 to 150 million in the last 7 years. We're going to carry it back up by about 200 million. All right. That is UNC for you, right? Let me play clip number 2. This is an oldie but a good one. So in 2019, and this addresses one of the UNC's biggest boasts. You know, they love to talk about the 106 schools that they built. Well, it depends on who's speaking and what day they're speaking, because it could vary between 96 to 106. So one man might say we built 96, then you hear 100, 103, 102. Yeah, you know, as I said, it depends on who's talking. But they know it's in the vicinity of about 100. Okay. And that's the biggest boast. I always say, the UNC love to talk they build school, but they can't tell me how many houses they built. I would love to know, how many houses did they build while they were in office? Because if you build, to me, if you build 5,000 houses, that is a better statistic than saying I build 106 schools. No mention. Every time I raise that, not one member of the UNC could tell me they built 5,000 houses. I remember a man boasting, certain Minister of Housing, trust trade lands in Dabadi there. We have almost 1,200 houses ready for distribution. When the media went, what they found? A load of sand, a load of gravel, and tobacco. Yeah. They was building house for ants. Probably 1,200 houses under the dirt for the ants. Not for people to live in. Yeah? It's under this administration. Go to trust trade lands now. Plenty houses inside there. More houses building. Yeah? All over the country. They abandoned Napoyo Court in Malabar. Today, Napoyo Court. Up and running, people are moved in. Yeah? I don't live too far from there. And I can tell you I passed when back then, running around Larry Gomes Savannah, Larry Gomes Stadium in the morning, on the weekends. And you're seeing it. They vandalized the fence first. They galvanized all of that gone. Scrap iron. When they finish with that, break into the units. They take all the fittings, the toilet bowl, the sink, everything. Yeah, they went with the sink and all. The only thing they left was the frame. And if they could have taken that too, they would have taken it. 5 years, 3 months, and 14 days. That's what the People's Partnership did. You had people in this country, thousands of people on the HTC's waiting list for homes. Yeah? Housing projects that had started under the People's National Movement. Patrick Manning, and I keep drawing this reference. Mr. Manning built real houses. Plenty. Plenty. UNC could never deny that. All over this country, PNM built houses. And they didn't take the exchequer account to 33 billion in overdraft as the UNC did. They can't point and say, well, look, we spend the money to build a house. Anyone or any of my UNC listeners, come on the chat and tell me how many houses the UNC built. I asked Marsha that and all. I said, Marsha, how many houses did the PP build between 2010 and 2015? She can't tell me. That's part of the reason why she blocked me too. She ain't like that. Because when I post that in the comments, you can't answer. And then your UNC people come on now and they see the question and you ain't answer. They realize you're on nonsense. You're on stupidness. And that is how you have to hold them to book. Ask them these pertinent. How many houses all you build? All you can't talk. Well, all right. Well, in this clip I'm about to play here, the then Minister of Education, Anthony Garcia, got up right after Tim Gopi Singh, who was the Minister of Education under them. So Gopi Singh spent his entire time talking about how much school and calling out this school and that school, the other school and the next. And Mr. Garcia rubbished all of that. right? All of that. But let's come back on the issue of the housing. I want to congratulate the Ministry of Housing on its housing distribution exercises that have been taking place over the last few weeks. I was talking to somebody last night and they say, finally I could commend the PNM government. They say because the mistake they make in 2010, they built a set of house but they didn't distribute. Well, under the current Minister of Housing, Kabil Robinson Regis, houses being given out. Here in a home for Christmas. Yeah? Houses are being given out. So the mistake is not being repeated this time. The houses have been built, they are there, and they are being distributed. So persons who were spending dead money on rent can now build equity in a home that they can call their own. They have a lease, or they have a deed with the name on it, it's theirs. Before, they just sign a lease agreement with the landlord and you pay your rent, but there is no equity. All of the equity in the apartment or the house that you're living in belong to the landlord. Now, we have hundreds of citizens in Trinidad and Tobago who have deeds in their hands with their names on it. So every time they make a payment to the TTMF, they are building equity in their home. And as that equity builds over time, in later years, they could now leverage on that equity perhaps to support their retirement or send their kids to university, as the case may be. That is your government working for you, the PNM working for you. Just remember the 100 houses a week that they were given out in 2015. Is the PNM build those houses? Challenge me on that. You're proud to say, no, we're giving out 100 houses a week. Who built it? Is the PNM build it? The PNM. But you want to take credit. You're giving out 100 houses a week. Oh, they're fooling. Yeah. Now, there's every house, all they give, every key you give out, just say, this is courtesy the PNM, huh? Under Patrick Manning. They won't say that. They're about transparency. But when they lost the election in 2015, Munilal, challenging Kamla for leadership, stand up on a platform in Shogunas and say, plenty people in the UNC saying that I ain't do nothing for them, and when I was minister, they ain't get nothing, and I wasn't giving them house. He said, but and he admitted, he said, I gave a house to the son of the mayor of Shogunas. But during the distribution of keys, I had to tell him, don't come up on stage, stay behind because you're going to embarrass me, because people will know that you are the mayor's son. You ain't entitled to that house because the mayor at that time, I ain't going to call his name, was very wealthy, right? I saw him the other day driving currently Savannah Road, driving a brand new Mercedes. So he had money. But Munilal admitted that he gave the son of the mayor of Shogunas then a house. For what? You qualify for that? He said, don't come up on the stage, because you're going to embarrass me. They go, no. You'll get your key after, don't worry. Yeah. But all of a sudden, that is the vanguard of transparency. My heart is clean and my hands are, whereas my hands are clean and my heart is pure. Yeah. But I just read for you there. They didn't know about the Central Tenders Board, but today they want to mount platform after platform, night after night, Monday night forum after Monday night forum for weed and whatever else, to talk about the procurement legislation and this government watering down procurement. Look, miss me with that BS, eh? All right, let me give all you, Mr. Garcia. I should play a little bit of Tim. Let me hear what Tim saying a little bit.
Eddie, so where are you going to take the doctors from? You're going to take them from the Mount Hope and Port of Spain and San Fernando Hospital?
All right, forget him. I'm going straight to Mr. Garcia. Listen. So the next time they want to come and tell all about they build how much house and how many schools, tell them, go to the Parliament channel on YouTube, and in the search bar, type in May 13th, 2019. You will see 2 clips coming up from that day, because I think this was the debate on the media review. A motion to adopt the second report of the Standing Finance Committee dated Monday, May 13, 2019. So if it is that you want to go back and look for it yourself and make a clip and post it on Facebook. Yes. So let me listen to Mr. Garcia.
Thank you very much, Mr. Deputy Speaker. Mr. Deputy Speaker, it was not my intention to join the debate at this time. But after hearing the member for Caroni East and the misinformation that he has spewed in this chamber, I had a responsibility to this chamber and to the people of Trinidad and Tobago to correct some of the bad news that has been spreading. Mr. Deputy Speaker, I have in my hand here a document that I got from the Planning Division of the Ministry of Education. In other words, Mr. Deputy Speaker, this document is authentic. The member for County East is claiming that under his administration, they built, or let me use this word, they started and completed 106 schools. Mr. Deputy Speaker, that is furthest from the truth. Very far from the truth. He is claiming that they started and completed 69 ECC centers. He is claiming that they started and completed 31 primary schools. And he is claiming that they have started and completed 6 secondary schools. Mr. Deputy Speaker, just let me give you the facts. Yes, let me give you the facts. Listen to him carefully. Something really jumped out at me. He is claiming that the Lafayette RC School was 22% complete under his stewardship. The Lafayette RC School falls under my constituency. Not a blade of grass has been moved where that is concerned. Absolutely nothing has been done. Yet he is claiming 22% completion. Absolutely nothing.
Shame. Shame, not a blade of grass.
Mr. Deputy Speaker.
It has been heard. Again, proceed, Member Farima.
Thank you very much. Mr. Deputy Speaker, the member for County East is claiming that they started and completed a number of primary schools. Those of us who travel along the bus route, and we would know as we approach Page Junction, that school that has been there for a number of years, the Tunapuna Government Primary School, this minister is claiming that they started and they built that school. How far from the truth could we get?
Give us the facts.
Very far. But let me, Mr. Deputy Speaker, talk about what is the truth where this is concerned. And I'm starting with the ECC centers. The Arangwes ECC Center was a project started by the PNM administration, not by his administration. The Bon Air ECC Center was started by the PNM administration. The Carson Field ECC Center was another one that was started by the PNM administration.
Shame.
The La Goya ECC Center, a project started by the PNM administration.
Oh,
the Clark Rochard Center, again, was started by PNM administration. The Kush ECC Center, a project started by the PNM administration. The Edinburgh South ECC Center, a project started by the PNM administration.
Shame.
The Egypt Trace ECC Center, again started by the PNM administration. The Golconda ECC Center, PNM administration. The Harmony Hall ECC Center, started by the PNM administration. The La Hoqueta South ECC Center, again started by the PNM administration. The Lisa Gardens project was started by the PNM administration. The Lower Kubuto ECC Center, again started by the PNM administration. The Maloney ECC Center, and I'm sure the Minister of Planning knows about this one, is a project that was started by the PNM administration, and it was opened in January 2010, before they came into office.
Oh my. Oh my.
Yes.
Shame.
The March Hill ECC Center
please.
is a project that was started by the PNM administration. The Marval ECC Center, a project started by the PNM administration. This was completed in May 2010 before the UNC came into office.
What trouble?
The Overput Gardens ECC Center, again, this project was started by the PNM administration, and this school was opened in May 2010. The Rostonia ECC Center was started by the PNM administration. It was completed and operational under the PNM administration.
What is this?
The Retrench ECC Center, again a project started by the PNM administration. St. Augustine North, the project started and completed under the People's National Movement.
You should be ashamed. Come on, Tim, you're too grown for that.
One second, and before I remark, again, standing order 53 stands. The crosstalk, cross the chamber on both sides, please. This is. Proceed.
Mr. Deputy Speaker, of the 69 ECC centers that the member for Caroni East claimed to have been started and completed, 36 was started under the PNM administration. Let's move on.
Mr. Speaker, I rise on a matter of clarification.
No,
Where can he quote where he get that source of information
What's
from?
your standing order? What's your standing order?
Unless the member gives way, or unless it's a standing order. Either or. Proceed.
Mr. Deputy Speaker, I now move on to the primary schools. The Tunapuna Government Primary School, which I mentioned just now, he said that school was started under the UNC. That school has been in existence for quite some time. The Penal Rock Road SDMS was a project started under the PNM administration. The Palo Seco Government Primary School was a project started by the PNM administration. The Lengua Presbyterian School, a project started by the PNM administration. The Arima New Government School, a school that resides in my constituency, a school that I'm intimately involved in, that was started by a PNM administration.
Who completed all those schools?
Tim, come on.
The Monkey Town Government Primary School was started by a PNM administration. The Enterprise Government Primary School started by a PNM administration. The Manzanella Nareva GPS, and this is a school that is close to my heart because I started my teaching career at the North Manzanella Government School. When that school was disestablished, the Manzanella Nareva Government Primary School was established under a PNM administration.
Wow.
Yeah, but you all built it.
Wow.
The Roselle RC School, another important school that was started by the PNM administration.
Oh my God.
The Egypt Village Government Primary School, a project started by the PNM administration. The Point Commander RC School, started by the PNM administration. And as I see the Minister of Finance enter, the Parliament RC School was started by the PNM administration. Penal Quinam Government Primary School, a project started by the PNM administration.
Wow.
The Durham Village SDMS was started by the PNM administration. Of the 31 schools that claimed by the member for Caroni East, 13 of these schools were started by the PNM administration.
Come on, Tim.
Mr. Deputy Speaker, I now bring to the attention of this House the schools in the secondary sector.
Yes. Yes. Give it to us. We want all.
Marbella South was a project that was completed by the PNM administration in May 2010.
In May 2010.
It was completed in May 2010. The Aranguez North Secondary School, a project started by the PNM administration. The Couva West Government Secondary School, a project started by the PNM administration. The Princestown East Secondary School, a project started by the PNM administration. And this one is important. This one is important, Mr. Deputy Speaker.
This one important. But the fact, this one is important, Tim.
The Five Rivers Secondary School. I taught in that school for 10 years. I taught woodwork. Remember that? That was started by the PNM administration. The St. Augustine Secondary School, this underwent retrofitting and outfitting, and this was done by a PNM administration. In other words, Mr. Deputy Speaker, not one secondary school was started under the UNC administration.
Shame. That's a shame.
Mr. Deputy Speaker, it is really strange that a former Minister of Education who occupied such an important portfolio could stand before this Parliament chamber and give so much untruths that it really makes me shiver.
Mr. Speaker, I stand on 48.4 and 6. 48.4 and 6. Imputing improper motives and the rest for you to appreciate that I'm speaking on truth. I spoke no untruth and I gave the whole truth to this Parliament.
Member, thank you. Yeah. Overrule, proceed.
Thank you very much, Mr. Deputy Speaker. Let me start, or let me continue from where I started.
1 second. Member for Moruga Tableland. All right, I think I need to identify you now. It's too continuous. Proceed, Member Farima.
Thank you very much. Let me go back to where I started. I said, Mr. Deputy Speaker, this information came from the planning unit of the Ministry of Education. It is authentic. It is authentic.
It is authority. That's the fact. It is authority. Authoritative document of the Ministry of Education. Primary source. Authority. Speaking true.
I just want to take the opportunity, very briefly, to talk about laptops. And I heard again the member for Caroni East talk about this government or his administration providing some 95,000 laptops to our students. Everybody in this country knows that that laptop initiative by the government was a fiasco. No infrastructure was put in place. Students were given inferior laptops that lasted 2 or 3 months.
Oh my.
And I'm talking from personal experience, Mr. Deputy Speaker. I have 2 grandchildren who live with me. They were given laptops, and in a matter of 2 months, the laptops were no more. They had no infrastructure, including internet service and connectivity. There was none in the schools. The teachers were not trained. It is only now that we are training more than 2,000 teachers. No training was done where teachers were concerned. The curriculum, there was no curriculum that was developed to support ICT in education. And these are some of the things that led to that initiative being a total and complete failure. This administration is correcting that. And Mr. Deputy Speaker, I promise not to be long, but I just want to ensure that this House remembers the fact that we have engaged in what we refer to as the Laventille-Bova project that is of tremendous success. Yes. It is built on 4 pillars: promoting discipline, learning and teaching, parental involvement, and quality education. Mr. Deputy Speaker, in spite of the fact that these schools, 25 schools, reside in the Laventille-Bova area, that has its challenges, we have not heard any major incidents of indiscipline among the students. It tells us, and certainly it tells me, that the students of the 25 schools in that area are benefiting from what is being offered. There has been a marked improvement in their performance in the academics, particularly in the area of reading. There has been a marked improvement. And Mr. Deputy Speaker, we are proud to state that this is one of the hallmarks of this administration and of this Ministry of Education. I thank you very much.
I recognize the member for Shogun-Assis.
Thank you very much, Mr. Deputy Speaker, for allowing me the opportunity to say a few words on this very important aspect of a presentation made by the Honorable Minister of Finance on the midterm budget. Madam Speaker, in thanking you for allowing me to join this debate, I want to take this opportunity to commend and congratulate our Leader of the Opposition, Member of Parliament for Superior, for her very comprehensive response. And erudite, as my colleague from Tabakit is saying, with respect to the presentation made today by the Minister of Finance. And one of the differences in her presentation was that it was not the same that we were hearing all the time for the past couple of years and almost a repeat of some of the budget speeches. But she worked with a plan in hand today and read from that plan. I want to also take this opportunity to commend all my colleagues who spoke before for their excellent contributions. But, Madam Speaker, it is incumbent upon me to make a few remarks and comments on the presentation of the member for Arima, since my colleague, former Minister of Education, would have spoken before and is not in a position to respond. Madam Speaker, what the member for Arima was doing is really in a sense responding to the list of schools, the 106 schools that were constructed under the People's Partnership led by Mrs. Kamla Prasad Bissett. And what we are having from the member for Arima was a rebuttal. And the member went on to say that he was reading from a document given to him by the planning unit or the planning division of the Ministry of Education. And Madam Speaker, I asked the question, why is the member for Arima, Minister of Education, who would have heard this, as he said, on numerous occasions, wait for tonight to respond to this? Why did the Director of School Supervision, why did not the Chief Education Officer, not even the Division of Education Services, or the hierarchy, or the permanent secretary, why was not an issue, a communique, released authentically from the Ministry of Education refuting those claims? And, Madam Speaker, I can say this authoritatively as well, because as a teacher for many years in the education system. And, Madam Speaker, the member indicated that he didn't plan to speak, and he did say a few words tonight. But I thought it would have been necessary, important, and required of the Honourable Minister of Education, the member for Arima, to speak early in this debate, particularly since this is a midterm budget. And he would have gotten, that ministry would have gotten among the...
Right. Yeah, that's the only defense he had to talk about, right? Why this one didn't say it, and why that one didn't say it, and the minister. Because the minister wanted it to be recorded on Hansard for posterity, to expose you all as a bunch of damn blasted liars. And it is on Hansard. It is there for the public to see, because you see, if all these people you talk about had sent out a communique, it could have gotten lost in translation, as they say, on social media or in the papers or wherever it was sent out. But the fact that the minister would have responded in the parliament, it means that any time you could now go and pull up the parliament channel and see it. Or you could go and request the Hansard report and read it. So it is there for all to see and hear. Because if our communique was sent out, I wouldn't have been able to play this morning. So kudos to the then Minister of Education, Mr. Garcia, for exposing them as the liars that they are, yeah? Call out the name of the list of schools, right? But they tell them we built 106 schools. And while the minister talking here, the nonsense, well, yeah, but we completed. Well, of course, you all completed it. It started under the PNM. Mr. Manning called an early election 2.5 years before it was due. But if it is that the election wasn't called and the full term was served to 2012 or thereabouts, the PNM would have opened all of these schools. So they figure because they cut a ribbon and commissioned the school, that means that they built it. We constructed the school. And of course, the members of the literati lapping up. Yes, yeah, they built school. Yeah? What are they say now? Where are they say now? The minister quoted where the document came from, the planning division of the Ministry of Education. So he didn't go and sit down and type up that. Let's say email gate, right? He got it from an official source within the ministry. When the school was started, the date and so on, when it was completed, as the case may be. But Tim feel the school started under the PNM, and when they reach in, school under construction, well, all right, nice, we finish it. Okay, we'll take credit for that. But we built 106 schools. The minister just tell her, the whole list of ECC schools. And I'd like to say, the PNM don't do nothing in UNC constituencies. You hear how many schools they built in UNC constituencies? You heard how many? Mr. Garcia mentioned the Five Rivers Secondary School. I think there's a different name for it now. That was one of several schools today. Unfortunately, it's been vandalized. For 5 years, 3 months, and 14 days, they left the school there. Why? Because for want of air conditioning. Yeah? For want of air conditioning, they abandoned the school. The new school. Caused it to be vandalized. They did that. And I recall hearing Tim Gopi Singh say when he was speaking at some school where he was cutting ribbon. And he said, Manning, build school. But if you see the size of the school, he ain't build school, he build hotel. When you look at the size of the schools, there's hotels he built, that wasn't schools. Gopi Singh says so. And they left it as a monument to PNM wastage. Today, the school is a shell of itself. 5 years, 3 months, and 14 days. My government had the highest energy revenues in this country's history. We raped the treasury. And they left the school for want of what? Air conditioning. But that is the government in waiting. Yeah, that's the government in waiting. We go to the arts folk. Bills have to be paid. When we come back on the other side of 8 o'clock, I'll open the lines and you can, so that you can say your piece. Stay locked.
You've got bills to pay, and so do we. Let's go pay some bills on the street 919 FM.
Want to furnish your home in style? Stylus Furniture makes this possible. Shop using our affordable layaway options to purchase any of our modern sectionals, dining, living room, or bedroom sets, and receive a dinner voucher for 2 at Ateliers Restaurant and Lounge. For further information, contact us at 652-2542, 652-2688, and 790-1202. You can also visit any of our branches located at 101 Crackness Village, Princestown, and 51 Rushwood Street in San Fernando. Stylus Furniture, for the style in you.
91.9 Bago Bashment presents On Board the Embassy Tobago Carnival Boat Ride Week. Tobago Carnival Boat Ride Weekend. Boarding at the Pigeon Point Jetty. Kicking things off from the 24th to the 30th of October. Walk with your food and coolers. Come experience October 24th. Pan on the boat. October 25th. ISO on the boat. October 26th. Chutney on the boat. Tickets are $200. Available at islandetickets.com or 91.9 FM Tobago. The party continues October 27th. Water on the boat. October 28th. Power Soca. October 29th. Groovy on the boat. October 30th. Juve on the boat. Tickets are $200. Available at islandetickets.com or 91.9 FM Tobago. For tickets, call 281-4723-363-4030 or 368-1932 or check us out on Facebook at Embassy Cruises for bookings or email at embassycruises@gmail.com. Tobago Carnival Ride Weekend. Tobago Carnival Ride Weekend.
4.5%? 4.5%? 4.5%.
That's my husband. He cannot believe the offer we're getting from TTMF.
4.5%.
That's for the first 6 years for a mortgage up to $2 million. 95% financing with extended terms up to age 70. He calls it a home sweet loan, and he talks about it all day, every day, because soon we're going to be proud homeowners. Anyway, honey, what you want for breakfast?
4.5%.
TTMF, from here to home.
Reasons why your startup business will fail. You have no business bank account. You have no plan for your business. You don't record your finances properly. You don't know what taxes to pay. We at Destiny Planners can help you. We have two systems. We have a DIY system and we have a virtual system. The DIY system helps you set up your business bank account and you get a pre-recorded class which teach you everything about your bookkeeping and your taxes. Or you have the virtual, which is help you set up your business bank account, and you come to our virtual class, which is 3 times for the year. The cost is $2,200 TT. You can call us or WhatsApp us at 469-6317.
In celebration of Calypso History Month, Tuco North Zone's Extemporama Committee, in conjunction with YMG, presents Extemporama 2022 in honor of Mark John, the contender, recipient of the Hummingbird Silver 2022. On Friday, 4th November at Lions Cultural Center, Fitz Blackman Drive, Woodbrook. Come experience the greatest zonal extempo battle ever. From the south, Winston Gypsy Peters, Abby Belly, Short Pants, and Mr. Shack. From the north, Black Sage, contender, Lady Syntax, and Gary Raps. From the east, Lingo, Lady Africa, Myron B, Calypso Night. Guest appearances by Master Funny and Johnny King. MCs Rockers and Shirlene Hendrickson. Musical accompaniment by Michelle Henry, Kaiso Encore Band. Showtime 8 p.m. sharp. Advance tickets only $150. Plenty giveaways as usual. You can't afford to miss this one. Tickets available at Crosby's Record Shop and all Tuco offices.
Is the greatest extempo clash ever.
It's the Lego Carnival! On Carnival Friday morning, after the concert, we board the Harbor Master for Last Love! I don't want nobody to keep my matter. Great Fat Weekend brings to you Last. Yeah, this is the official African Giant after party. So after the show, this is where everybody is heading. Straight from the concert to the boat ride. Boarding time is 4 a.m. We sail 5 a.m. sharp from Turtle Beach. Ticket packages available. $200 for boat ride only. $800 general admission. That's for concert and boat ride. $1,700 VIP admission for concert and boat ride. Hey, we talking vibes. All your favorite DJs going to be there. This is the boat ride you want to be on. We going right down on Friday, 28th of October. Carnival Friday morning. Tobago. We board the Harbor Master. The biggest boat ride for Tobago Carnival. Last.
The steel pan, the only musical instrument invented in the 20th century, is a reflection of the perseverance and innovativeness of the people of Trinidad and Tobago, which have always been central to our development as a nation. And the steel pan story epitomizes this, carved out of life and struggle and determination, rising out of the spirit of the African drum. The steel pan stands today as evidence of innovativeness, creativity, and passion for life integral to the people of Trinidad and Tobago. My name is Kwesi Paul. Join me each and every Sunday from 9 p.m. to 12 midnight on the street, 91.9 FM.
Trinidad and Tobago. This is yours truly, Pastor Charles, streaming live from Port of Spain, Trinidad, Marval Road, 91.9. Our services start from, 12 midnight to 5 a.m. in the morning from the first, the second, and last Wednesday of the month. We are going to have a T-I-M-E time in the presence of God. We will be praying, praise God, for our nation. We'll be praying for families. We'll be praying for those that are sick and those that are in need. Tune in to the best station, 91.9 FM Street Live, Port of Spain, Maribel.
91.9 is counting down 91 days of Christmas. Yes, 91 days of Christmas. It's karaoke, prizes to be won, giveaways. It's the 91 days of Christmas on the street. 919 FM.
I could sing a good serenade. Oh, it's Christmas.
Looking for a safe and relaxed professional massage therapist and nutritionist? Look no further. Nature's Touch with Empress Judy and Associates offers a natural approach to better health. Treat yourself to a professional massage therapy and nutrition advice in a safe and relaxed atmosphere. Rejuvenate your body, mind, and soul at Nature's Touch Therapy. For an appointment, please call or WhatsApp 1-868-398-8282 or visit our Facebook page. Remember, your health is our responsibility at Nature's Touch.
Turn your lights down low and listen to the Master's radio. Get in touch with God. Turn your radio on.
You are invited to join Pastors Morris and Agnes Johnson of the Church of the Firstborn Assembly Miracle Center, located at number 399 Eastern Main Road, Guayco in Sangre Grande, for the Old Time Gospel Hour Family Radio Ministry every Sunday from 1 p.m. to 6 p.m. to the Children's Hour Worship Ministry of the Word and the Family Forum every Tuesday from 9 a.m. to 10 a.m. The Law and You, and every Friday evening from 9 p.m. to 5 a.m. All Night Prayer Live, designed with you in mind. This program deals with today's issues from a biblical perspective. You will also be given the opportunity to call in and interact with us. Micah 6:8 says, He hath showed thee, O man, what is good, and what doeth the Lord require of thee, but to do justly and to love mercy and walk humbly with thy God. Your financial support through the First Citizens Bank will be greatly appreciated. Account number 795222. For further information, call 753-1113 or email us at church668hope@gmail.com.
Share the live. Share the live. The Street 919 FM on Facebook and Instagram. Share the live. Iowa George on Instagram. Share the live. Iowa TV and Street TV on YouTube. Share the live. The Street 919 FM.
Welcome back and thank you for staying locked to the Street 919 FM. You are tuned in to Titans of Democracy with me this morning, your host, Dominic. As I said, if you're now joining us, perhaps you woke up late because of the rainy morning. Maybe you're a teacher and you have no school today, so you're at home. Sharon is not with us today. She's still under the weather, but hopefully she will recuperate over the weekend, and you will hear from her on Monday. So 342-008-14665-391. Let's see who we have there. Hello, good morning.
Morning, Dominic.
Mr. Chance, good morning.
Hey, good morning, man. Nice morning to you. Morning, my daughter Sharon. Morning, Bruce. Morning, all the Titans. Very special morning to you, Dominic. It's nice to hear that you went to Couva North.
Yes.
Excellent. Keep up work. Keep up that good work. And you know that you have my very full support on that social media thing, because we need to respond, and we need to be on the same page.
Thank you.
I want to say to you that this morning you made some comment about the Home for Christmas.
Yes.
You know, typical PNM style, the Dr. Williams party, we have the data, you know. And let me give you some data. At Home for Christmas? Yes, Home for Christmas. Over the last 3 months, coming from the HCC, over the last 3 months, that is August, September, October, which is not finished as yet, 165 keys have been delivered to families. 362 families feeling good before Christmas. And in addition to that, the government had made a promise to give former petroleum workers lots of land. Do you remember that?
Yes.
60 housing lots would also delivered to former petroleum workers. As you know, the Land Settlement Agency also falls under the ACC. And for that, I want to compliment the Minister of Housing, you know, Ms. Camille Mary Robinson Regis, for accelerating the work. And I give you some more data, you know. Over the last 5 years, 3,000 houses were built. Bearing in mind that they had about 2 years of COVID, they had problem in the construction sector, 3,000. And the data further indicate that a further 2,000 are on its way to complete at various stages of completion. So we're looking at 5,000 houses in spite of the challenge from COVID. I thought I would just add that. But on Wednesday, Dominic, I mentioned something about the UNC, and I mentioned that I stopped at 1989. But I want to just finish off that piece of 1989, because I said that was the seventh reincarnation, 1989, when Mr. Pandey took over.
Yes.
But from the point we are making, my dear people, the point we are making is that this UNC is just jello. It's a facade. It's just something that you can't, there's no substance in it. That's what Dominic and you know, we are trying to point out to you. So when you hear them talk, you know, it's just an illusion. Something serious. 1989, you know, when they were evicted from the UNC complex, 27 years later in 2016. You know why they were evicted? You know about it? You know, but I have to remind you because they're talking no substance. 27 years later in 2016, they were evicted. You know why? They couldn't pay the rent. And I want to tell you, I want to tell you the comments that came under research that came under from the same UNC when they were evicted. Here the first comment the UNC person made. Why didn't they do like the PNM and build their own headquarters? You hear that? Who's telling them that? This same UNC people telling them, and they were talking about, they said, why did you do like the PNM and build your own headquarters? The next thing they told them, and I want you to listen to this well, you know, in typical Dr. Oli fashion, if you close in your fridge, go hear this one. Many of them were too busy building personal wealth. You hear that? They can't think about no country. They're building their personal wealth because there are allegations of people with malls in Europe. Huh? There are allegations of people with money walls in their house. That's all. And there are allegations of people who build houses and cannot claim it. Personal wealth. Mr. Warner told us many of them came in, couldn't buy a double, and now they're driving luxurious cars and building palatial homes. That is why the UNC inside the told them they were concerned with only building personal wealth. And yet the third comment they made, what about all them contractors who make billions? Shouldn't they ask them to chip in and help them build a headquarters? And they want to come and tell us of substance. But I want to close now by sharing with your listeners this business about crime, because it concerns me. And I want to tell you this business about what is happening on the crime front, right? I want to tell you something about that. Because, you know, far too often we are finding ourselves in this situation where the UNC remain unscathed. People hiding behind them and they say, boy, what are we going to do about the crime? Well, let me tell you. I want to tell you that. I want to give you just 3 examples very quickly. Jamaica has the same problem. Here's what Jamaica did. I'm reading from the Jamaica Arena and the Loop News. 8th of September, last month. The House of Representatives of Jamaica debated and unanimously passed, with the help of the opposition, the Firearm Prohibition Regulation Act. Based on the provisions of this act, persons convicted of gun crimes face a mandatory, meaning you're starting there, minimum sentence of 15 years and up to life imprisonment. 15 years and up to life imprisonment. They passed that with the support of the opposition. They passed that with the support of the opposition in Jamaica. Now, what happened in Barbados? You see, we have to let the people know, you know. We have to let the people know. We have to let the people point out the UNC. So in Jamaica, they want to treat it. So they pass a bill saying, look, the opposition came together with the government and said, listen, we are serious about this matter. This is a serious national issue, not a political issue. You happened in Barbados, and you should like to talk about Mia Motley. I quote him from the 8th of September. This is Mia Motley talking now. Quote, an amendment to the Firearms Act is coming shortly, where the sentence of imprisonment for gun crimes will be mandatory. The same thing like Jamaica people. This is what Mia Motley said, and they like Mia Motley. Here she said, PM Motley made this disclosure during a press conference she had recently. And she went on to say that she is going to do like the United Kingdom, Turks and Caicos, and other countries where the sentence of imprisonment for the possession of guns will be mandatory. Meaning they will start with a sentence of 15 years up to life imprisonment. And here what happened in St. Vincent. In St. Vincent, say they are giving consideration people involved in gun crimes to life imprisonment. Yeah, those are examples for us where the opposition in those countries have taken a stand with the government and treating with gun crimes as a national issue, not a political one. I gave you the example in Jamaica. Jamaica passed the bill already. I gave you what Mia Motley said. They're going in that direction. She says the Attorney General is coming shortly. I suppose by October, and Barbados is going to be there. What we need in Trinidad and Tobago is a supportive opposition that is prepared to treat with this national issue of crime. So when you see all those crimes committed and you talk about all the different things, remember, you have a recalcitrant UNC in the parliament that is not prepared to pass the bills that are going to get robust laws in place to treat with those who commit crime. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Chance. Yeah, always a welcome contribution. And as Mr. Chance would have mentioned, you know, the Homes for Christmas initiative of the Ministry of Housing. Gone are the days when the PNM would make track for Guti to run or for the UNC to run, as would have happened in 2010 to 2015, where the UNC capitalized on houses that were built by the PNM. Of course, it didn't help them, but nevertheless, the PNM did take some flack, where it was said that the PNM building houses, but they're not distributing the houses. And so they created something for the UNC to take advantage of. But under the current Prime Minister and the current Minister of Housing, those houses are being distributed to those most in need, so that you no longer have to waste money on rent, but you can start building equity in your own home. So congratulations again to Minister Regis and the Ministry of Housing. Hello, good morning.
Hi, good morning, Dominic.
Morning, sir.
Well, Dominic, boy, thanks for reminding us. Because we know about these things, but we just forget.
Yes.
So when they come with the foolishness, the Cambridge Analytica, we know how to deal with these people. Imagine, and I take a note, and I want the country to also take note of it. Well, let's take note of this. You're hearing everybody talking about the Nelson's case and the AG this and the AG and want to talk and say certain things about everything. But have any one of them ask Ramdeen and Ram Logan, especially Ram Logan, what about anything about that case? And what about these allegations?
Yes.
Were it true? All these simple question, a yes or no question, you could ask Ram Logan. Ram Logan and Ramdeen is extremely quiet and out of the scene. The media, they're hiding them, pushing other people to talk for them. And I always tell all you see that law association? Inside of that law association, there's a group of lawyers inside it. They have their own plan, you know. Martin Daly asking a question of Ram Logan. Ram Logan, a former AG. He was an MP. Right? The issue that facing us now had them thing and the questions he asking the AG to answer and all these things had to deal with these fellas and them. And they're not asking them fellas and them not one word. In other words, the sitting AG now and the one just before him, they are wrong. They're telling us that indirectly. And they did something so wrong. So if they did something wrong and they're wrong, you know what went on up there? Squash that case. Whatever Nelson say and Nelson do and what Nelson think there, we mustn't look at that because they asked for some thing and how they witness this and they witness that and did any of them ask about how Clint Hawkins become a state witness? Who indicts him? Anybody ask that? They talk about interference with the justice system. Who paved the way to the Privy Council? So every time Dolce appeal, it was quickly dealt with. Who did it? The DPP? These people are taking Trinidad, well, the people for fools. Right-thinking citizens how to think. These fellas have questions to answer. And you know why they have questions to answer? Because before them take up the office of AG and senator, they had to go in the president's office and swear. So because they had to do that and they have serious questions and some of these things that a man is telling you, I do that, I give him. You see the former AG carry the budget from a doublet, triplet and all kind of nonsense. You see where he was paying out money, lavish, unquestionable. Where's Martin Daly and them and asking the question of this gentleman? Are they protecting them? This is how many questions I am asking. We need justice. They have serious questions to answer. And the only way we could get the truth out of these guys, they have to sit down in the box, in the court. But to try the case on the outside and to force the sitting AG to give serious information and information could have an outcome, and when the case goes back into the court, it could damage it. So the AG is wise enough to be careful of what he's saying and how he's saying it. Because these fellas, them looking for loophole. Martin Daly never asked on how come they put out Section 34 out of the Bail Amendment Act and what the reason for doing it and what that would mean. That wasn't helping the guys and them who sit down in the jail, they're suffering and couldn't get the bail. Section 34 wasn't to help them. It was to help fellas like Ishtan Steve and Pandey and the gang of them from the other carnation of the UNC. Martin Daly and them are asking these questions. They ain't ponging, they ain't saying nothing. And the same man who do all them things is today before the court and all they protecting this man, boy. And I would say that because that's what look to me, because all they asking serious questions that only beneficiary to just see. Because the public really at this time don't need to know. What the public need to know is when them first them sit down on the stand in the court and being questioned and whatever they say, we want to know that because here we're going. We know that they can't lie under perjury. And if they lie under perjury, they're in a mess. So that is why we could hold them and pen them. That is why none of them in one that case to start at all. They're trying everything in the book for that case not to start. Because they don't want to go and sit down in that box to answer questions. And these people protecting these people allow it to go on. Martin is saying that the thing over. Nothing is over, Martin. You're misleading us. It's not over. As far as it is, even though if something's had to change, there's always avenues. It can be sued. They can be sued. That's how we sued Malcolm Jones, and then the same Nelson come and tell me, well, boy, If Randy gave me the witness statement, I'll advise the government not to ping this. But I am saying, I am saying that I know for a fact I do not have the evidence, but I feel that he damn well knew. But the objective was to milk the treasury. You hear the man, he said in one of his statements that the former AG had letterheads, and all he had to do is put it on, sign around, backdate dates, and then to get money from the state, and how much percent he want from it. You hear the man say that the money that for AG too small, and when he working in his firm, he make plenty more money than that. We have to deal with these fellas, and then we have to put aside that kind of pettiness and notices and try the case before the actual case start. And to deal with these fellas, we need to do something about white-collar crimes, and you have to start from the top. The top, them person was he was a AG. Only understand the position that this man had when he committed those felonies. He was an AG. People stop taking chain up to allow these people and them to get off and live happy. And when Trinidad burn and it flat in the ashes, them sit down on the outside in the Miami balcony with a pina colada and relaxing and just going through the news and laughing because they're taking all taxpayers' money and setting up themselves and generations. And we have to suffer. Thank you.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning, Dominic.
Morning.
How are you?
I am good.
Right. Oh, what's up? I call them. You must remember, it's not a book to read it. Other people want to come in. At the time, they must think and consider it for other people who like to get it to make the You have a blessed day.
You too. Right, so we continue to take your calls. Just one thing, my attention has been drawn to an article in today's Newsday, right? And it's entitled, Company Mom, THA Defends Road Contract for Trinidad Roofing Contractor. The managing director of a Trinidad-based roofing and construction company that was awarded a multi-million-dollar road contract in Tobago has chosen to remain mum on how his company was invited to tender for the project. Pressed about the award of the contract, Shady repeated that he was not answering any questions on it, saying he was asked to tender and had been successful. Now, this is the paragraph that disturbs me. Asked about his company's history of roadworks, given that its name implied was involved in roofing and construction, Shady said, "Sir, you heard what I just told you. English language hard for you Negro reporters to understand." Fali, Mr. What is the who is Trevor James? Is it? To the entire quote unquote Negro THA executive, you all okay with this? A contractor that you all gave a contract for $54 million is telling a reporter, asking the reporter if English is hard for you Negro reporters to understand? Are you serious? What's really going on in Tobago? People, buy a copy of the Newsday today for me, please. I wonder what Bernie Jack Gregg had to say about this, if she's okay with that. And all of the supporters of the PDP, Watson Duke, what have you to say about this? I'm sure if he sees it and when he hears about it, he's probably going to do a live on it. But this is unacceptable, totally unacceptable. Hello, good morning.
Morning, Dominic.
Morning, sir.
Blessed morning. Morning to Miss Felix, Bruce, all enjoy all the holidays. All loyal listeners and callers, all who on the live. Well, it has so much topic, so much information given out this morning, but this is how I want to start. Mrs. Camille Robinson-Regis, congratulations and continue the work that you are doing. Speed up the process. People applying for houses, whatever, land, apartment, house, half house. Just keep on doing what you're doing, ma'am, and your sidekick. Or you just keep on doing what all you're doing in the housing. But one thing I would like all you to do, put in some money for the South Key project. Start that so that the East Port of Spain development will be on track. Because it's off track since 2007. So you could see it's 15 years behind time if you was watching. Right? I would like to see that started. If it's just the shell, I would like to see that. And Dominic, you see the Vince Nelson, the caller who speak about Mr. Daly, he's so correct. I and all of my beef with Mr. Daly, he wanted the president of Trinidad and Tobago to say what happened with the PSC. If you was watching you, open your mouth now, open your mouth. The same thing you want Mr. Amau to do right now. Open your mouth now, let me hear what is going on. But I want to tell Mr. Daly, Vince Nelson looking for 150 million from me. I'm looking for $500 million right now. Thank you very much, Dominic.
Thank you. Hello, good morning.
Hi, morning, Dominic.
Hey, John, morning.
Morning to all the callers and listeners on 91.9 and the whole crew from Tobago. You see what I just read there that contractor said? That is a racist statement. And I think what has happened in this country, unfortunately, we have gotten so comfortable in a space that when people of other races say those things about us, we just say like small things. The mere fact that he has to single out you Negro reporters, if he's speaking to a specific group and he's saying, or they choke it out, or they don't understand out. Because he didn't say all your reporters, he said you Negro. And you see, things like that is what we must not tolerate in a democratic and multicultural and ethnic society as Trinidad and Tobago. Because of the fact we are trying to build a nation together. So that is why it was easy for Kamala Pasalbi's sister to stand on a stage and say she proud Indian ancestral name, and come here where you have your slave master name. And people were, oh, okay, that's a small thing. That was a small thing. Because we know what the English slave master used to call us. And it wasn't Camille, it was nigger. And it continues. So those type of things must be stopped and it must be called out. And nobody mustn't say, don't say nothing about that now. Because we must all be comfortable in the society and we have to talk about these things. And I totally reject what that man's saying there. Because no racism on any side, for any race is not good. But we in Trinidad, all of a sudden, especially the inception of the UNC government, PP, have been subjected to racist slurs and racism, and nobody wants to take this serious in this country. But if you were to say the same thing on the other side, all man come down on you. And that is what in this society we need to change. Dominic, you have a blessed day.
Thank you, Jenny. The views of the callers are not the views of the Street 919 FM. Let me see here. Hello, good morning.
Hi, good morning, Dominic.
Morning,
How are you?
sir. Morning.
Dominic?
Yes, sir.
Wonderful rhetoric from Miss Jenny.
Yes, yes.
I am waiting by 12 o'clock news today to hear from these following people. I want to hear from the Fally Augustine, Chief Secretary Fally Augustine. I want to hear from the Secretary of Ministry of Work in Tobago. I also want to hear the civil society and the prominent people who speak out against the government, like George Martin, Ms. Haddad. I want to hear somebody like Fixing TNT to talk about this. I am waiting for the Emancipation Committee to talk about this. And I want to hear by 12 o'clock news to hear all the main players come out and condemn that statement made by the contractor. Yeah, Mr. Dominic?
Yeah?
If this doesn't come out, if the people stay silent, then we're in real trouble. So I want to hear from Chief Fally Augustine. I also like to hear from Mr. Watson Duke. And I want to hear from the Secretary of Works, Mr. James. they had to come out and condemn. As a matter of fact, the PDP in Tobago had to come out and condemn that statement and fire that gentleman from that who do that contract. Yeah, Mr. Dawes, you understand? You see this silencing, it is very disturbing and sickening. I don't like it at all. Right? This is the same thing when the lady say that she proud of her ancestral name and Mr. Amani Robertson name is from Slave Master's name. You understand, Dominic?
Yeah.
So hopefully by 12 o'clock I want to hear some people who condemn that statement and he should be blacklisted. Right? We will see what happens by 12 o'clock news tonight. Or either 7 o'clock p.m. or 12 o'clock, but preferably earlier the better. We will see who will come out and condemn that statement. And we will know who for country or who for party.
Yes.
You have a good day.
Thank you. Well, hopefully Liz Williams will pose that question to the Honorable Chief Secretary. May hear what he had to say. Anyway, we can deal with that. Hello, good morning.
Good morning, sir.
Morning, sir.
Good morning to you. Mr. Dominic, I have a short contribution to make. Something makes me laugh in the news day, Wednesday. I see a headline here, UNC wants national security meeting after 16 murders. Asking the government they want to have a meeting with Munilal and Latridial. No, Dominic, you remember Spoiler? Good, you must know Spoiler.
Yes.
He tell himself, you are charged for speeding. He tell himself, the policeman lying. Hey, I nearly ripped down the place when I see these two people on the papers here. You want to have a national security meeting? You ever see people in crime want to have a meeting to find out what's going on with how you go solve the crime? Look who now, boy. That is why I tell you, if we don't, boy, I don't know. It's press go move them, you know.
Yes.
Press go move them. It's press go move them. And they had to slip some way. And we go catch them. We had to catch them. And more had to come. Because when I see this thing, and I mean up to now, I couldn't stomach it, man. You could tell me, Munilal, telling me that you want to have a national security meeting. With who? Look, Dominic, boy, I laugh like hell, but you have a nice day, brother. You have a nice day, and thanks to everybody who called Mr. Thing who gave us that lecture there. So the same thing with security. Yeah, Mr. What's his name? Mr. Chance.
Yes.
Yes, all of these people and them, they were the country as it is today, man. Let them get account on themselves. Don't come by me. You move facial camera in the airport. You put a secretary for SIS. You take down cameras in your resident, all kind, and your prime minister resident. You say, what you ain't doing? You come into Ceylon and talk to me. You sell all my boat for nothing. You sell blim for $10 and you get all kind of thing. So what is you want again, madam? All you look. Dominic, have a nice day, brother. God is love. God bless this nation. Have a nice day, brother.
You too.
Well, this one is class. The Chaga magistrate for driving too fast. You mustn't doubt me. Well, this one is class. The Chaga magistrate for driving too fast.
Himself to himself. What's it, George? Good morning.
Yes, good morning. Good to hear your voice.
Yes,
I didn't
sir.
get in the welcome boy debate here. I got up since 5 o'clock and I fall back to sleep and I catch myself as Minister 7. So let me just shout out everybody, PNM people. Morning, love you all, Prime Minister, love you. We having some rain in Tobago here. We have a lot of landslips and landslides, but God is good. You all just continue to pray and trust the Lord. Things will be okay. As long as we don't have no serious house movement and people getting damaged and things like that, God is good. He'll do what he has to do. We can't stop it. All right, so Mr. Chance, Professor, very, very good contribution. Sister Jenny, as usual, always follow up. Right? I just want to go back in time, Uncle Dominic. Just a little piece. When you were talking about the ministry, there were a ministry in Tobago that was named Tobago, the Ministry of Tobago Development, but that
Yes.
ministry was for certain doctors and things to feel up people's breasts. Okay, that was the purpose of it. That is all I had to say this morning. I ain't getting into nothing else. That's all. Uncle Dominic, you have a blessed, safe weekend, and we'll hear you next week.
Yes.
Right? And when you come back to Tobago the next time, you ain't coming for no one day or so, you know, you're
Right.
coming to see us, right?
Yes. Yes.
All right. Love you, right? Love you all, Trinidad and Tobago. Watch the weather and be safe. Oh, everybody. Bye-bye.
The man was pinching nipples. Hello, good morning.
Morning, Mr. Handsome. How are you?
Morning, mother.
How are you doing, sweet pie?
I am good, and yourself?
Well, you hear the sweetness in my voice, or what?
I hear it.
I tell you, I just come back a diamond.
Hey.
Let it come for me. Touch not the Lord's anointed and do his prophet no harm.
Yes.
Dominic, I don't fit myself anymore, you know. All the bacchanal and comments, Saddam Hussein and this one, and they're not coming back.
Yes.
God, I don't believe that, no, man.
I believe that.
They're not coming back. That's why they're going mad. It's mad in Malcolm, they catching. People, Mr. Monk, the George Good Body Street out morning 1287. It's 12:10:87. That lady always missed. St. Augustine morning, Lovers being up for Spain. Miss Thomas, Gemma, Funky, Swanky Gemma morning, Lover Punch. Dominic, that people ain't coming back no way, you know. You see Tobago, I want to say it fast. You see Tobago, they take all the time and walk. When a baby born, they don't get up and walk same time. They just lie down and start to roll over, turn over, and this and that, then they start to, all they want to challenge Trinidad and everything, all they're doing, you know. That's what they're trying to do. That's how we talk to them about the election, or they put them people and them in power, and all they start to cry. All they take all the time. Now look at the weather. I have a good. One of my best friends gone to Tobago. She said, oh, God, that boat was bad. The weather real bad. One of good. Killing all this stuff to go and wine and jam. All them so thirsty. Eh? Man come down from Africa, wake up. His name again, Dominic.
Buena boy?
Well, yeah, Buena boy. The gun that boy. Something wrong with Trinidadians, you know. Something really wrong with us, you know. We have so much artists all over the place here in the West. You're going for Africa, and they don't care about us, boy. They don't really care about us, and we really don't care about ourselves. A man make up a calypso and it's selling plenty. Tobago will sing. I think that's the name of the calypso.
Yes.
Tobago, people. Dominic, they need God, you know. They need the Lord Almighty. That's all. It's a plenty God.
Yes.
Just that we worship about 25 God. One true and living God, Jehovah. We need him in our lives, and we use his son, Jesus Christ, to make it a special for us, that we may have peace on the earth and goodwill towards men. What are we trying to do? Eh? But I am nothing to say about Tobago. All enjoy, all the wine and jam. All the city is all going on, the murders taking place, left, right, and center. You don't know who next. They stop killing dogs, you know, the American. You realize that?
Yes.
Dog ain't dying on the street anymore, you know. It's mankind that picking up in like dog. Eh? And people telling up what time they wine and check themselves. Check all themselves before they wreck all themselves. All the pray the man. I am living an example for all to understand the kind of things prayers that do to people. Look where the Lord has brought me from. And he said, there is no secret what God can do. What he's done for others, he will do for you. With arms wide open, he'll pardon you. There is no secret what God can do. All the taste the Lord and so sweet he is, man. Dominic, blessings for you and your family. Trinidad and Tobago and the white old Gemma and his wife, not Gemma, Malcolm and his wife out there. And all the people who have stand out greetings to the mother. Take care, love you all the time. Mr. Julian, good morning to you, your wife, and my little darling granddaughter, Mercedes. Have a blessed one, people.
You too, mother. Thank you. They said it rained last night in Tobago, put out the burner, yes? I got to. Brian, good morning.
Morning, Dominic.
Good morning,
Good morning to your listeners and callers. Dominic.
Yes, sir.
You have heard me ask the question many times.
Mm-hmm.
When you look at me, what do you see? I'm certain you have heard me ask that question.
Yes.
So when a man to get a contract, a roofing contractor, get a road paving contract for $54 million. Now remember, in the budget, the Honorable Minister of Finance put out a budget of $200 million to pave in Trinidad.
Mm-hmm.
Remember that?
Mm-hmm.
$200 million to pave Trinidad, which is how much bigger, how many times bigger, and has more road issues in Trinidad than in Tobago. But you give a Trinidad contractor, roofing contractor, $54 million to pave how much road in Tobago? Huh? And you hear what he said? All year, and this is not no ordinary news reporter you was talking about. I'm waiting to see what I-95.5 have to say about it.
Mm-hmm.
I'm waiting to hear. You understand? Because they are aligned to that corporation, that company. But $54 million you give this roofing contractor. Dominic, is anybody asking the question? There's a certain road paving contractor who has done a lot of human service in Tobago that the UNC was making issue with because the Honorable Prime Minister indicated that he should also get work in Trinidad as well.
Yes.
Remember that person?
Yes. Yes.
They're making couture about that. But you have them going in Tobago and nobody is saying nothing, Dominic.
Mm-hmm.
And you get a one man, one company get a contract for how much? To do what?
Yes.
Anybody ask any question about that? But if this gentleman from Tobago come into Trinidad to pave road, you think they're going to have any protest or anything like that? And you think they're going to say, but we have paving contractors in Trinidad. And you don't pave in Tobago. You understand, Dominic?
Yes.
And look at the words they're using. That is how they see us, Dominic. You understand? And then they want to come between the money. Dominic, if it is Farley and them giving money to these people to do that, Dominic, Farley and them owing money, ex gratia payment, they pay it yet? They owing money to certain contractors like the parks and so on in Tobago. They pay that yet? Have they said if they paid it yet? They pay those contractors, those contractors yet, or they're still doing forensic
audits? Yes,
checks?
Yeah, still doing forensic audits.
Asking a question. Is the forensic checks still going on? Or have they paid them in full?
Yes.
We are giving our contract already. To who? Hey, Dominic? To who? And look at and embolden them to tell the reporter, hey, you, who the hell is you?
And I don't care, Brian, I don't care if you report it.
I don't care. That is, Anna Robinson always said this as well. Too far east is west. I mean, you're going so far. And you don't know you're going on the next side.
Yes.
Do you understand my point?
Yes.
So you could afford to say it because you're emboldened, you're empowered. That was no mistake. That wasn't, oh God, it slip out. I'm sorry. I'm really sorry. No. They're emboldened by who? And this is for Tobagonians. After all you've done fet and prat and have a good time, I have no problem with all you having a good time. Congrats. I hope, as I said before, that the carnival is a success. But remember, the putting it in all your face while all you're fetching and prancing and ridiculing all your reporters of long standing and telling them, I'm telling you can't understand, you're stupid. Take that. You understand? And nobody coming out to say absolutely nothing about that. I will talk about Mr. Despicable because he was already been spoken about to read this morning. That is Mr. Daly, and we could talk about here another time. But thank you very much, Dominic. You have a great day and have a great weekend, and you be safe. Hear you on Sunday, God willing.
Yes, sir. Hello, good morning.
Good morning, Dominic.
Morning, Zina.
Oh, God, I'm happy to get you in this kind of weather here. Thank you for coming out and taking the calls and people was listening. Thank you for all the information.
Yes.
Listen, I want to, I know I was trying before to get it, and I wanted to point out just what Jenny said, because I read the news online, the Newsday, and to the kind of things that we would let slide with what that guy said. You understand?
Mm-hmm.
So I'm glad that Jenny brought it out. And these people, that didn't just slip out, you know. What that guy said about the reporters, the Negro reporters, is that's how he put it?
Mm-hmm.
That is just what he had in his mind. That is what has been in their mind to come out. So that was not slip of the tongue. That is what they do. That is what it dwell on all the time. And I'm watching what is taking place in Tobago. I've seen a lot of meetings taking place where the PDP supporters, especially those in Roxborough, you understand, Dominic,
Yes.
you're taking note?
Mm-hmm.
How they having meetings and how they reporting and want to know what's happening to the people, where the backs of the people that really started this PDP, including Duke,
Yes.
what's going on with them, and they don't intend to take it so, and I quite agree with them, you know why? Because that party was built on the premise that they will do better than what the PNM was doing, and they make the PNM sound like they were so corrupt in Tobago, and they helping their friends and their family, and they this and they that, and they went on at a rate to pound the PNM. And watch me, they go in there, and what they were saying is not true, but they gone in there on what they said and doing worse than what they said the PNM was doing. You understand?
Yes.
So I'm watching to see what the people say. Well, I asked my brother, you know, I say, Ollie wanted a change, but Ollie gets small change. She said, well, yes, they wanted a change, but give them the 4 years and they will move them out just the same way. I'm waiting to see because they're spending that money lavish. And as the last caller asked you, they pay the people yet, all that the people waiting for the ex gratia payment. But I tell you, they're like a runaway train. You understand?
Mm-hmm.
And I note a paragraph. Well, you if you read that, Dominic, the paragraph say that they want private money as
Yes.
well to come into the. What is the meaning of that? The private money. So apart from what all I have to pay them, what it have in it? Must be like what we hearing now about Vincent Nelson.
Yes.
I'll wait and here. Thank you, Dominic.
You're welcome.
And you be careful in this weather out there.
You
Morning
too.
to everybody. And thank you, Mr. Chance, for bringing up and showing us what other countries the opposition supporting, because they want better for the country. The opposition here don't want better. They want to get into government on the backs of what is going on. Blood will flow in the street. That is what they want to come into government with. But they wouldn't see that, and a red donkey they wouldn't see. Thank you.
Thank you, Zida.
I'll go on.
Final call. Hello, good morning.
Morning, Dominic.
Morning.
Sharon, Bruce, morning, everybody, good morning. Dominic, not on your station, but yesterday I heard on another station a woman concerning the carnival in Tobago. She was speaking. But my impression about whether 3 months ago they planned it of this carnival, the impression I got is that they don't want any help from Trinidad because maybe not help, they might say, but anyhow, they prefer to go Grenada because of some reason and whatever.
Yes.
But anyhow, the Carnival Committee apparently extend a hand to help, and They refuse it. But I found it strange if that happened at the beginning. I heard that, and then now at the ending of this season, the actual day before the carnival starts, she's rebuffing what the people were saying about they didn't want to Trinidad to have any to that tell them what to do with the carnival, which was others that wasn't true. Why she didn't come out the same time when she heard the lie? Because from what I gather, like if it's a lie, and rebuff it. And said no, we didn't say that we didn't want Trinidad to help, but say something. But now she's saying something like that. But all along it's been running that they don't want no help from Trinidad, want it from Grenada. So I don't know what it is they decide when they talk of the things like that. Like if they don't know what they're doing. Anyhow, this morning I was looking out for the band itself, as a carnival thing, and I thought at this date yesterday I hear she talking about festival. I wasn't even anything about festival a few months ago. I was hearing carnival.
Yes.
Oh, look. I'm all right, yes? I'm ready yet. Okay, take care.
You too, thank you. Out of time, but not out of things to say. Folks, that's it for today. Join me on Sunday morning, God's willing, where we will continue the discussions. I may or may not have a guest in the studio. So we'll see how that works, but enjoy the rest of your Friday, this overcast Friday, this rainy Friday. For those of you who are home, well, my day has only just started, so we'll chat on Sunday.
They're not necessarily the views of the management of the Street 919 FM. We are the Street. The Street. The Street. 919 FM. The only radio station bringing perfect balance between entertainment and talk. Updating you with current affairs and social issues.
So what, we should just sit down and take the foolishness that's being meted out because of all you feel that all you're real bad?
Right? Unlike his situation that I don't even want to go back and bring up and highlight.
You don't have a good record where that is concerned?
Having you in the loop with trends and entertainment. Providing music that lives on. And spiritual food for the body, mind, and soul. The Street, the Street. 919 FM.
You've got bills to pay, and so do we. Let's go pay some bills on the Street 919 FM.
Want to furnish your home in style? Stylus Furniture makes this possible. Shop using our affordable layaway options to purchase any of our modern sectionals, dining, living room, or bedroom sets, and receive a dinner voucher for 2 at Atelier's Restaurant and Lounge. For further information, contact us at 652-2542, 652-2688, and 790-1202. You can also visit any of our branches located at 101 Crackness Village, Princestown, and 51 Rushwood Street in San Fernando. Stylus Furniture, for the style in you.
Mud is life! Mud on mud! Mud is life. Great Fed weekend. Mud Mass! Kong Point, Tobago.
Saturday, 29th of October, Juve morning in Tobago. Mud is live!
Hey! Tobago, Jesus! Hey, mud is live. Mud is live. Tobago Carnival. Mud is live.
Hey! From 4 to 9 a.m., we take over the streets of Kong Point. Then, from 9 a.m. to 2 p.m., we head to the headquarters at Crusoe Drive for extreme mud play and fun. For more information, you can visit mudislifeexperience.com.
Mud is Life, Mud Mass, Tobago Carnival, Crown Point, Tobago, 4 a.m. to 2 p.m. You know it is Tobago.
celebrate Mud Mass with Mud is Life.
October will never be better with Tobago Carnival fever. Okay, passage and come on over.
The Street Mass in Tobago. Where the uniqueness of Tobago comes alive. With its con, creatives produce music, craft, mass, literature, and other memorabilia that ignites the history and creativity of Tobago. It's the Street Mass in Tobago, right here on the street. 919 FM.
Team Colors of We and Create a Smile Foundation presents Cheers to Life. Cheers to Life, a charitable event. October 29th, Bear Top Bar, formerly Mari's Bar, on Eastern Main Road, opposite Wassa. Advance tickets cost $40 and 2 non-perishable items, or $50 by the door. Music by top DJs, live performances by Snakey, Eddie Charles, RKG.
She tell me she have nobody, but she says she will love.
And many more. For ticket information, call 296-4493 or 277-8740 or at the Bear Top Bar. This event is sponsored by K2K, Alarm and Sound, Pepe's Marketing, Street 919 FM, Everslick Auto Care, Manipul Branding, One Shot Photography, Bear Top Bar. Help make happiness a gift this Christmas, October 29th. Cheers to Life, the charitable event.
For you, when if I do anything you want me to do, maybe another time, maybe another life. You what? Last. Now everybody was your breakfast. Have to say bye bye yo.
You're performing live everywhere. People love your music. You're gonna be performing for us today. Best international act.
If you send me the location.
Tune in to the Street 919 FM every Thursday from 10:05 a.m. to 10:20 a.m. for the program Straight and Narrow, The Way of Life, The Health Store, being brought to you by Mrs. Arlene Collins Mohammed. For more information, check us out on Facebook or Instagram at Straight and Narrow, or visit our website at www.opulence.com/Arlene for Life. You can also call or WhatsApp at 309-4697 or 620-9379.
91.9 is counting down 91 days of Christmas. Yes, 91 days of Christmas. It's karaoke, prizes to be won, giveaways. It's the 91 days of Christmas on the street. 919 FM.
I could sing a good serenade. Oh, it's Christmas.
It's all about the fastest growing reggae show in the land without a doubt. Right here on the Street 919 FM. Each and every Sunday from 7 p.m. to 9 p.m. with yours truly, MC Duke, alongside Selector Kochi. So make it a date and don't be late. Rock and come in, line up, link up, creep up. You don't know reggae rock each and every Sunday. Salute God Amari, King Selassie.
Share the live. The Street 919 FM on Facebook and Instagram. Share the live.
Iowa George on Instagram. Share the live. Iowa TV and Street TV on YouTube. Share the live. The Street 919 FM.
People them, tell me we gon' make it. But your trust in the Most High, the Most High. Wow. This is my Benjamin Yashirala. We're gonna make it one day, someway. All my praises be to the Most High One. We're gonna make it one day, someday. Righteous youth man, keep standing strong. When the going gets tough, then the tough gets going. I pray we will make it, cause the battle that we facing, dread and terrible, my brethren. And when the pocket them low, I know, seems that there's no way getting out. Just put your trust in the Most High, He will give you more. Number 6 verse 24. We're gonna make it one day, someway. All my praises be to the Most High One. Israel. We're gonna make it one day, someday. Righteous youth man, keep standing strong. Well, let me tell you this, the love of man already wax cold in these last days. Would you say you better hungry? Charity's gonna lengthen your days. Let's come together to the children of Israel. You're the salt and the light of this earth. Though the world is cold, they can't touch your soul. James 1 verse 21. We're gonna make it one day, someway. All my praises be to the Most High One. We're gonna make it one day, someday. Righteous youth man, keep standing strong. Now when the bills pile up, oh gosh, tell me we gon' make it. And when the system lock down, oh gosh, tell me we gon' make it. I know the battle is hard. Tell me we gon' make it. I put your trust in the Most High. Oh gosh, tell me we gon' make it. Trust in the Most High. One day. Tell me we gon' make it. Put your trust in the Most High. The Most High. We're gonna make it. You're gonna make it. We're gonna make it. All my praises be to the Most High One.
So many low seasons, a lot of failures for dark reasons. Many people tried so many times to tear me down. Never prayed I tried to pick me up off the ground. They said I wasn't gonna make it very far. Look in my life and I got so many scars. Wasn't easy but I really worked hard. Always having Father God in my heart. Don't count me out yet, I'm still running. Found them but I got up fighting. My eyes are on God's kingdom always. And I won't stop until I finish this race. Don't count me out yet, I'm still running. Found them but I got up fighting. My eyes are on God's kingdom always. And I won't stop until I finish this race. I know I'm not where I'm supposed to be, but I'm trying to be the man God wants me to be. Won't let nobody distract me from my dreams, even if my friends turn my enemies. Honestly, sometimes I feel so lonely, and now one that God is walking with me. I say one set up a prisoner said, it was God always carrying me. Don't count me out yet, I'm still running. I fell down but I got up fighting. My eyes stop until I finish this race. Don't count me out yet, I'm still running. Felt dumb, but I gotta fight it. My eyes are on God's kingdom always. And I won't stop until I finish this race. Never alone. You're never alone. 'Cause these are tears that you cry. The woman's gonna be alright. Just said it's impossible. But God is possible. Yeah, he said it's impossible. Sorrows only last for a while. You're going through your midnight, but tomorrow you are gonna smile.
Oh Lord, make me talk to them gunman, them why? Talk to them. Bam bam, brother, brother. My journey, God alone, I walk with me. Okay. Promoting, we've had nobody gun thing, and I know what them want. Not ready like ready for no shelling. Swanny say, watch your friend in her, because me fed up on them friend killer. Why can't we just live like brother, brother? Let love one another, make the old place better. So we know one of our gang leader, make them fight come out of peer pressure. Why everybody wanna be a sasa? I know no watches, them who are press, on a big chain and white vest. Them put mama in stress when the maniac march out and leave one lifeless. Funny Gelano, Lumpy boss Movado, telling maniac, Rion and KG. Listen what me tell you, we need more love in the ghetto. Sing some positive tune and set them ghetto youth. Living in a gunman town. We don't need no gunman sound. Living in a gunman town. We don't need no gunman sound. So what your friends who you're linking with? 'Cause they will lead you to your casket. All out, so me talk to them, buy them, tell them listen positive music. Tell them gunman slow them roll. Tell them take it easy. Now rise up the murder toll. Prefer the pop print in Jersey. I love it, make the whole place better. So we know one of our gang leader. Make them buy come out of peer pressure. Why everybody wanna be a sasa? I know no answers, them who are press. When the big chain and white vest. Them put mama in stress. When the maniac march out and leave one lifeless. Funny Gelano, Lumpy boss no